My wife wanted freedom in our marriage but ended up with an STD and an unplanned pregnancy, and my relatives blamed me for it. I'll start from the beginning. The first thing I noticed was her lipstick, this vivid red shade that shimmered under the glow of the chandeliers. Sophia hadn't always gone for something that loud, not until lately, when she started strutting around like she owned the place. It was our 15th anniversary dinner, held in my folks' big OL dining room, with both our families packed around the table. Her mom, Margaret, sat right beside her, all rigid shoulders and sharp eyes, like she was waiting for me to screw up somehow. My mom was busy fussing over the roast, while the rest of my relatives kept up their polite small talk. You could feel the tension buzzing in the air like static. "Leave the napkins alone," Sophia barked at me, tweaking them to fit her fancy little vision. "I'm just trying to keep everything nice," I said, plastering on a grin that didn't quite reach my eyes. "It's already perfect, Sophia," I mumbled under my breath, hoping to dodge a fight before we even sat down. She let out a huff and rolled her eyes, acting like I was too dumb to get that perfection was miles away. This whole dinner was her brainchild, or at least I'd thought so. "We ought to have a big family shindig to mark the occasion," she'd pushed, shooting her mom a sly little grin that I couldn't quite read. I had a hunch they were cooking something up, but I never figured it'd go this far. Margaret sat there with a smug twist to her lips, sipping her wine like she was in on some grand joke. "You know, Sophia," she said, loud enough for the whole room, "sometimes you gotta rattle the cage to keep a marriage spicy. Don't let him box you in," she added. I felt my spine stiffen. That was Margaret's favorite jab, painting me as some overbearing jerk who kept her darling girl locked up tight. "I don't lock her up," I shot back, forcing a chuckle to keep it light. "She's free to roam wherever she wants." Sophia's sister, Olivia, flashed a grin that reminded me of a cat toying with a mouse. "So, what's the holdup on kid number 2, she piped up. "Is she too caught up living her life, or are you too wrapped up in yours?" That stung deep, seeing as we only had Emma, our daughter. I bit my tongue, glancing at my dad, who was sawing away at his steak like the table wasn't a war zone. He despised drama and never tangled with Margaret Snipes, figured it was safer to let Em slide. Dinner stumbled along in awkward bursts. Forks scraped plates, fake laughs popped up now and then, but the strain never let up. At one point, Sophia and Margaret traded a quick nod, like they'd agreed it was time to drop the hammer. When the tiramisu rolled out, Sophia stood up, wine glass in hand. "I've got something to say," she announced, flicking her eyes my way with a smirk that chilled me to the bone. "I hope y'all will back me up on this," she went on. My mom set the cake knife down, her forehead creasing with worry. "What's this about, honey?" Sophia tilted her head, practically glowing with self-assurance. "I've had an epiphany," she said. "For years, I've been suffocating, feeling invisible. James." She waved a hand at me, her disdain plain as day. "He's not cutting it, emotionally, or any other way." My jaw tightened, but I held my tongue. She loved a good show, but airing our dirty laundry at an anniversary dinner, with both families watching? That was a new level of crazy. The room went dead quiet. Margaret's smug mug lit up like she was proud of her kid's guts. Sophia lifted her chin higher. "I'm going for an open marriage," she declared. "I want to date other guys. I'm not dumping you, James, but I need room to breathe, to explore." She let that bombshell hang there, watching the shock ripple out. "You owe me this after all the neglect I've put up with." My mom's eyes bugged out in disbelief. My dad nearly choked on his water. Margaret reached over, patting Sophia's arm. "That's real brave, sweetie," she boomed. "Don't let him steal your joy." My face burned like a furnace. "Are you out of your damn mind?" I muttered, fighting to keep my cool. "This is your anniversary gift. Telling everyone you're chasing other men?" She shrugged, not a shred of regret on her face. I waited for you to step up, James. I dropped hints, but you're blind to M. So now we're here, putting it all on the table, she said. No more pretending you don't see me. Margaret clicked her tongue like a scolding teacher. See? He's always ignored you, she chimed in. I warned you, Sophia. My mom finally piped up, her voice shaky. Sophia, darlin', an open marriage? That's so personal. You sure you want to hash this out with everybody here? Sophia shot her a look that screamed, but out. I'm done hiding. If I don't spill the real deal, nobody'll see what he's truly like, she snapped. All he cares about is his job, his cash, his perfect little reputation. He doesn't even look at me the way I ought to be looked at. I wanted to flip the damn table right there. And you reckon screwing other guys'll fix that? I hissed, my voice low and tight. Margaret waved me off like I was a pesky fly. Quiet down, James. You dug this hole yourself. If you'd paid her any mind, she wouldn't be shopping around. My dad cleared his throat, trying to play peacemaker. This ain't the spot for this, he said softly, hoping to cool things off. But Sophia wasn't having it. I'm through with the old playbook. I want an open deal, she said again, her voice ice cold. And if that bugs you, maybe you should hit the road. My fists balled up tight. Maybe I will, I growled. Olivia sipped her wine, her eyes twinkling with nasty glee. Well, damn, this dinner just turned into a soap opera. My mom threw me a desperate look, begging me to chill. But I was done. Sophia was dragging my name through the mud in front of everybody, laying out her scheme to sleep around while expecting me to just grin and bear it. Yeah, whore was the ugly word blazing in my head, and she wanted me to clap for it. You happy now? I asked, shoving my chair back so fast it screeched. You wanted a circus, Sophia. Well, you've got one. She took a calm sip of her drink, cool as a cucumber. Don't play the martyr, James. You've ignored me for years. I deserve someone who sees me, she said. Margaret jumped right in. He's always been a selfish ass, Sophia. You do you, I've got your back. That was the last straw. I scanned the table, my parents' horrified stares, Sophia's cocky smirk, Margaret's approving nod, and I lost it. Fine, enjoy your freedom. I'm out. I stormed off, brushing off my mom's protests, leaving the stunned silence behind me. My keys rattled in my pocket as I peeled out into the night, anger pumping through me like wildfire, tangled up with this gut-wrenching betrayal. She'd turned our anniversary into a freaking sideshow. Wanted me to sit there while she paraded other guys around. No way in hell. I didn't go home that night. Ended up crashing in my car in some random lot, my brain spinning with fury and hurt. By the time the sun peeked up, I'd made up my mind. I was done, divorce was the only way out. If she wanted an open marriage, she could have it solo. I rang up Ethan, my old buddy who's a lawyer, that morning. I'm finished, I told him, my voice rough from no sleep. She humiliated me at dinner, says she's after other men. I can't do it. He let out a heavy sigh. That's brutal, man. We'll get the papers going. You sure you don't want to try talking it over first? Talk. I almost laughed. She ambushed me in front of my family. Thinks she can do better. Let her prove it. We hashed out the details, house, bank accounts, our daughter Emma, who's 20 and off at college. My head was spinning, wondering how she'd handle her mom's stunt. But for now, I zeroed in on the legal stuff. Meanwhile, my phone kept lighting up with Sophia's texts, a messy cocktail of smugness and rage. You bolted out of there like a scared little kid, classic move, she typed. If you'd ever really cared about me, you'd get what I need. Don't even think about divorce, or you'll wish you hadn't. I let M pile up, ignoring the buzz until my battery croaked. She swore she'd trash me all over town, but I figured her only real ammo was Margaret stirring the pot. 3 days later, I swung by the house to snag some clothes. There she was, posted up with her mom like a welcoming committee from hell. Margaret crossed her arms and shot me a death stare. "Well, look who's slinking back in," she sneered. Sophia lounged against the wall, tapping her painted nails like she was bored. "You finished throwing your tantrum?" she asked. "Tantrum?" I echoed, my voice dropping to an icy growl. "Nah, Sophia, I'm done with you for good. Divorce papers are coming your way." She snorted like I'd told a bad joke. "All this over me wanting a little breathing room? Man up already." Margaret poked her nose in again. "He's always been too uptight, honey. Don't sweat it, we'll deal with him." I felt my hackles rise. "No, you won't," I snapped. "I'm walking away, and if you pull any stunts, I swear I'll see you in front of a judge." Sophia smirked, folding her arms tight. "You think you can scare me off? This house is mine too, we both paid for it." I didn't bother arguing that point. Just stormed to the bedroom, yanked my suitcase from the closet, and hauled ass out of there. Margaret hollered after me, "You never loved her right, this is on you." I kept my eyes forward and didn't flinch. Weeks dragged by, a slow grind of paperwork and bottled-up anger. Sophia started splashing pics online, her out at clubs, hanging all over sketchy-looking dudes. Margaret ran her mouth to the neighbors, crowing about how her girl was finally free from that domineering jackass. My folks were humiliated. Dad pulled me aside and said, "Don't sink to their level, son." I tried to listen, but inside, I was boiling. Sophia had taken what used to be a decent marriage and turned it into a damn circus. I'll own my part, I worked too much, didn't always tune in like I should've. But no matter how I sliced it, her big reveal, telling everyone she wanted to chase other guys, hit like a sucker punch. Emma rang me up from college, sounding all mixed up. "Dad, Mom's saying you're divorcing her 'cause she wanted to broaden your horizons. She's spinning it like you're the jerk here." I sighed, rubbing my aching head. "Emma, your mom ambushed me in front of the whole family, demanded we open the marriage up. That's not my thing." She let out a long breath. "That's so bizarre. She never dropped a hint about that with me. Can't you just let it slide?" My tone sharpened like a blade. "Forgive her for shaming me? For saying she'll sleep around and I should just deal?" "No way." Emma paused, unsure. "I'm not picking teams, Dad. Just don't go off the deep end, okay? Mom's letting Grandma Margaret blow this way out of proportion." My jaw locked tight, Margaret's poison was spreading. "Stay clear of it, Emma," I told her. "Keep your head in your books, this is me and your mom's mess." She went quiet, then murmured, "All right, Dad. Just don't do something dumb you'll hate later." We hung up, and I threw myself into work to drown it out. Nights blurred together, each one pushing me closer to cutting the cord for good. No chance I'd stay tied to Sophia's warped little dream world. Then my lawyer hit me with a big question: did I think she'd cheated before she dropped the open marriage bomb? I admitted I had no solid proof, just a gut feeling something was shady. She'd been way too gung-ho, too quick on the draw, but it didn't matter much. We were in a no-fault state, her backstabbing only changed things if I wanted to play hardball. And trust me, I wasn't above getting messy. I wanted to hang on to what I'd busted my ass for. Then I found out Sophia and Margaret were weaving a tale, saying I'd ditched her, that I'd been a cold, controlling bastard who never let her live. She claimed she'd pitched the open marriage 'cause she felt smothered, unloved. Some neighbors bought it, others just smirked. My parents were livid. One night, Sophia showed up outside their place, storming up to me with fire in her eyes. "Sign these," she barked, slamming settlement papers into my chest. I skimmed half the house, half my savings, and monthly checks to keep her afloat. You're nuts, I said. The mortgage is almost paid off, why should you get half my cash? I'm the one who earned most of it. She flicked her hair back. You trapped me in a lifeless marriage, now I need a fresh start. Mom says I've earned it. I let out a dry, bitter laugh. So you want to fool around and have me bankroll it? Keep dreaming. Margaret popped out of the car like a bad omen. Sign it, or we'll haul you to court. You ignored her, gave her nothing when she gave you everything. My anger flared hot. You're both unhinged, I shot back. Sophia's lips twisted into a sneer. You always acted like the big shot, pay up, or I'll shred what's left of your good name. I shoved the papers back at her. Catch you in court, Sophia. She snatched glaring. I tried to warn you, this is gonna get nasty. I stepped inside, my pulse hammering. My mom, who'd caught the tail end, rested a hand on my arm. Keep your cool, son. She's fighting dirty. I gave a stiff nod. They're not taking everything I've built, I said. I've sweated too hard for this. The divorce hearing finally rolled around. Sophia strutted in wearing a sharp black dress, Margaret trailing her like a shadow. Me and my lawyer sat stone-faced at our table. She spun her sob story, how I'd neglected her, left her desperate for love, forced her to float the open marriage idea as a Hail Mary. Margaret chimed in, branding me a heartless control freak. I clenched my teeth, itching to fire back, but my lawyer kept it steady, pointing out how her desperation included humiliating me at a family dinner. That poked some holes in her victim act. The judge decided we'd sell the house, split the cash, and call it quits. I'd toss her a little spousal support for a bit, just enough to get her standing. It was more than I thought she deserved, but at least my savings stayed mostly intact. Margaret threw me a look that could have curdled milk as we left. Sophia flounced off, not even glancing my way. It should have been the end. We were split, done with each other. But life's got a knack for tossing curveballs. Months went by. I settled into a little townhouse, bare-bones furniture, quiet days of work, gym, and crashing out. Dating? Not even on my radar. Emma swung by now and then, tiptoeing around any talk of Sophia. I could tell she was stuck, loving her mom but fed up with her antics. I didn't push her to spill. Then, out of the blue, my phone rang, an unknown number. I picked up, and Sophia's voice hit me, all shaky and panicked. James, I need cash. My blood turned to ice. You've gotta be joking. Her tone sharpened. It's no joke, I need it for medical stuff. Treatment for an STD. She stopped, her breath catching hard. Look, insurance won't cover it all, and Mom's tapped out right now. I let out a harsh, empty laugh. You're hitting me up 'cause you're fooling around landed you an STD, and you expect me to pay. Unreal. She fired back, don't be an ass about it. You've got any idea how pricey these treatments run? Sophia pleaded. I screwed up, all right. I wasn't as smart about things as I should have been. A nasty wave of revulsion hit me square in the gut. So you go messing around with half the town, pick up something nasty, and now you think I'm gonna cough up cash? Fat chance. Her voice shot up, sharp and shrill. You owe me, James, years of ignoring me drove me to look elsewhere. I nearly smashed my phone in my fist. I don't owe you a damn thing. We're done, divorced, you wanted your freedom, and you got it. She let out a shaky breath, all wobbly and dramatic. Fine then, just sit there and watch me fall apart, you cold-hearted jerk. I figured you had at least a speck of kindness left. I snorted hard. Kindness? You mean like when you broadcasted your open marriage fantasy at our anniversary dinner? That kind of kindness? She went quiet, then the line clicked dead. My heart was thumping like a drum. The gall of that woman. Did she really think I'd erased the memory of her grinding my dignity into the dirt? That I'd play white knight for her dirty little problem? Not in a million years. But she wasn't done yet. Next day, she rolled up to my townhouse out of nowhere. She looked wrecked, dark bags under her eyes, hair a tangled mess. Margaret was right behind her, arms crossed, her face scrunched up like she'd smelled something rotten. Sophia banged on the door. "James, open it," she barked. I cracked it just enough to peek out. "What's this about now?" She tried shoving her way in. "Let me inside, we gotta hash this out." I planted myself in the doorway like a brick wall. "Hash out your STD. I already told you no dice." Margaret piped up, venom dripping. "You're trash, James, not helping her when she's sick. Worst excuse for a man I've ever seen." My teeth ground together. "I ain't bankrolling her screw-ups." Sophia's eyes welled up, fake tears, "I'd bet my life on it." "Just let me in," she whispered, all soft and pitiful. "I'm not budging, till you do." Sick of the game, I swung the door wide and stepped back. "5 minutes, then you're gone." She shuffled in, eyeballing my bare-bones living room. Margaret trailed her, smirking at the empty space. "This is your big new life," she snarked. Pitiful. I brushed it off. "What's so damn pressing?" Sophia swallowed hard, staring at the floor. "I've got an STD, tested positive. Insurance'll cover some of the meds, but not the whole deal. It's a lot of money." Her mom hissed like a snake. "He's got plenty stashed away, he oughta pay up." I gawked at them, pure outrage bubbling up. "You expect me to fund your bad choices?" Sophia's face went red. "I wouldn't be here begging if it wasn't bad." I crossed my arms tight. "Bad like that stunt you pulled, shaming me in front of everybody? How bad was that for me?" Her voice broke, wobbly again. "Okay, I get it, I messed up big time. But this is my health, James. You can't just let me rot." Margaret jabbed a skinny finger my way. "This is all you're doing, if you'd been a decent husband, she'd never have strayed." I barked out a sour laugh. "Keep feeding yourself that fairy tale. Both of you, out," I snapped. Sophia's tears vanished like magic. "So you're really not gonna help? Not even a dime?" I said, flat as stone, "Not 1 cent." She shot me a glare. "You'll wish you had." "Doubt it," I fired back. I yanked the door open, and they stomped off. Sophia tossed a desperate look back, but I didn't flinch. She wanted freedom, she'd damn well gotten it. Next morning, Emma called. I picked up, hoping for a normal chat, but her voice was tight as a wire. "Dad, you've gotta help Mom." I pinched my nose, already guessing. "She whined to you about her STD, huh?" Emma let out a heavy sigh. "Yeah, and it's worse, she says there's more. She's pregnant." A weird numbness washed over me. "Pregnant?" "Yeah," Emma said, "and she's swearing it might be yours." I busted out a cold, hollow laugh. "Mine? That's a joke, can't happen." Emma's tone climbed. "She's dead set you two hooked up during the separation." I shut that down fast. Never happened. And even if it did, I got a vasectomy years back, there's no way that kid's mine. A faint "what?" slipped out of her, stunned. I shrugged, though she couldn't see it. Had it done a while ago, before everything went to hell. "Never told your mom, we were already growing apart. After you were born, I got snipped. So if she's pregnant, it ain't me." Emma sucked in a sharp breath. "Dad, you positive?" "Dead certain," I said. "Got the records, the tests, irreversible without surgery." "She's either lying or kidding herself." Emma let out a shaky exhale. Then Dad, she's unraveling. She's begging me to get you back to her, saying you owe her, 'cause it's yours. Anger sparked hot in my chest. She can scream it from the rooftops, I know what's real. Emma mumbled something I couldn't catch, then said, so you're not helping her at all. I grimaced hard. Emma, she dragged me through the mud, demanded other guys in our marriage, buried me in legal crap, and now she's pinning a fake baby on me. She wants cash for her STD. That's her mess. I love you, kiddo, but I'm not getting played. Her voice quivered. I'm not trying to trick you, Dad. I just don't want Mom to crash and burn worse. I shut my eyes tight. That's on her now. I'm tapped out. She's gotta face what her choices bring, I added. Emma choked down a sob. You guys used to be so tight, now it's like you don't even know each other. A twinge of sadness hit me. People change, Emma. I'm sorry, but her mess ain't mine to clean up. She sniffed. I get it. Just, maybe don't lock her out completely if she's really drowning, she said. I stayed quiet. After a beat, she muttered a goodbye, and we hung up. Sophia's wild claim had me fuming. Pregnant, begging me to swoop back in, cover her bills, fix her life. She'd spent years making me the bad guy, but now I was her lifeline. Too damn bad, I thought. That night, she showed up again, solo this time, no Margaret, no theatrics. Just her, shivering outside my townhouse in the dark. We need to talk, she said, her voice low and flat. I nearly slammed the door, but something nagged me to hear her out. About what? Another shakedown. She bit her lip. I'm pregnant. I raised an eyebrow. Yeah, I heard. She sucked in a quick breath. It's yours. I couldn't hold back a mean little grin. Prove it, genius. Her voice shook. James, we hooked up a couple times before the split, you don't even remember. I've done the math, it lines up. I cut her off cold. I got a vasectomy after Emma. You're full of it. She froze, then rallied. No way, you'd hide that from me. That's low. I shrugged, playing it cool. Didn't see a point in telling you, we were already fading. If I'd knocked you up, it'd have been years back. Now. Zero chance. Her lip wobbled. You're making this up, show me proof. I stared her down. I don't owe you squat. Get off my porch. Tears pooled in her eyes. James, I'm terrified. I've got an STD, I'm pregnant. Thank you for watching my videos. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, let me know which city or state you're watching from. Mom's strapped for cash, she can't cover all this, Sophia said. And now you're telling me there's no way you're the dad. Do you even get what that means for me? I crossed my arms tight. It means you've got some other guy's kid in there. It means you screwed up, and I'm not the one stuck with it. She let out a ragged, broken sob. All, 'cause you left me hanging for years. Sure, I messed up, but you shoved me into it. I tried talking, but you were always too tied up, too busy brushing me off. If you just cared, we wouldn't be here. A little stab of guilt poked at me, maybe I had let her down some. But that didn't excuse the crap she was pulling now. You shamed me in front of everybody at our anniversary, I shot back. Told me to sit there while you chased other guys. Don't dump that on me, Sophia, you picked your path. Her tears kept spilling, soaking her shirt. And you're picking right now to ditch me again. You've got no soul, James. I jabbed a finger toward the street. Hit the road. I'm not your hero. Go track down the real baby daddy, maybe he'll shell out for your meds. She shook her head slow, tears dripping like rain. I hate you, James. Yeah, I bet, I said, gripping the door. Now scram. She turned away, shoulders quaking as she shuffled off down the path. I locked up, my chest feeling like a vice. Part of me got a twisted kick out of watching her break. Another part felt queasy. We'd been crazy about each other once, now she was a wreck, and I was the hard-ass bad guy. Maybe that's just how it had to play out. A few days later, Margaret cornered me in the cereal aisle at the grocery store, hissing like a pissed-off cat. "You're a disgusting creep. Sophia's carrying your kid, and you won't lift a finger while she's suffering with an STD and no cash." I snagged a box of Frosted Flakes, ignoring the gawkers nearby. "It ain't my kid, Margaret. Ask your perfect little girl about all the guys she's been running around with." She jabbed a finger into my chest. "You're lying through your teeth. She spilled it all, how you two hooked up one last time before you bailed. That baby's yours, and you're just ducking out." My temper flared hot. "I got a vasectomy, bet she skipped that detail, huh? Whoever knocked her up, it sure as hell isn't me." Margaret blinked, caught off guard for a sec, then stumbled. "No way that's true," she said. I shrugged. "Think what you want." She started sputtering. "Well, it's still your fault, she'd never have gone looking elsewhere if you'd been a real man. You'll fork over for her bills out of shame if nothing else." I snorted loud. "Go kick rocks, Margaret. I'm not paying a dime." She looked like she might swing on me, but I just walked off, adrenaline pumping hard. I was through letting them push me around. Emma called again, voice wound tight. "Dad, Grandma Margaret's saying you're blowing off Mom and it's your baby. She's full of it, right? 'Cause you told me about the vasectomy. I'm so lost here." I sighed heavy. "Yeah, she's lying. Don't get sucked into their drama, Emma, keep your head on your own stuff." She sounded like she might cry. "I wish this wasn't real. Mom's bawling non-stop, Grandma's raging, and you're locking everybody out. I'm caught smack in the middle." I softened a bit. "I'm sorry, kid. But your mom dug this hole herself. I can't patch it up, she can't pin her bad calls on me. If she's got an STD and a kid coming, that's her load to carry." Emma let out a little whimper. "Dad, she's still my mom. I can't just watch her crash and burn." A dull ache thudded behind my eyes. "I hear you," I said. "But I'm not jumping in. I don't owe her a thing, not legally, not morally. I'm out." She sniffled hard. "Okay. I love you, Dad. Love you too, Emma." We hung up, and I stared at the wall, wrestling a tangle of guilt. But I told myself Sophia had torched every bridge, she and Margaret had fed her ego, and now they were eating the fallout. A few days later, Sophia hit me with a melodramatic text. "I'm sick. I could lose this baby without better treatment. Please, James, don't let that happen." I read it over and over, my gut sinking weirdly. Even if it wasn't mine, a kid might suffer, 'cause she couldn't pay for decent care. Was that on me? Every fiber in me screamed no, she had no right to lean on me. Still, I tapped back a curt reply. "Not my kid. Not my mess." Her response blew up with a string of swears. "You're pure evil. You'll pay for this in hell." I shut my phone off, done with the fight. One cold night, I got home from work and found Sophia slumped on my doorstep, shaking like a leaf. She looked rough, pale, worn out, lips chapped. I almost stepped right over her, but a flicker of worry stopped me cold. "Sophia, what the hell are you doing here?" She looked up, voice faint. "I've got nowhere else. Mom's out of town dealing with some family mess. I'm on my own, broke, and feeling like crap, fever's kicking my ass. My next doctor's visit's in 2 days, and I can't even scrape up motel money." I clenched my jaw tight. "So you figured you'd squat on my porch?" She gave a weak little shrug. Didn't have another spot to land. The guy who did this, he's ghosting me. A twinge of pity hit me, but I shoved it down hard. You've got buddies, right? All those dudes you were cozying up to. She coughed out a hollow laugh. They bolt the second you actually need them. I glanced up at the moon, letting out a long breath. The old me might have hauled her inside, tossed her a blanket. But that ship had sailed, she'd cast me as the monster, wrecked our life, then begged me to mop up her mess. You can't crash here, I said, voice flat as a board. Her eyes went wide, panicked. You'd leave me out in this? I'm pregnant, James, sick as a dog. I almost cracked for a second, but then every damn thing she'd done flashed back, humiliating me in front of my family, demanding other men, hounding me for cash. Yeah, I said, ice cold. Get up. She shivered hard. I can hardly move. I pulled out my phone. I'll call you a cab. She flinched. I can't pay for that. Your issue, I cut in. You won't go on your own. I'll get the cops out here. Her face crumpled into pure misery. You ruthless son of a bitch, I hope you choke on it. I waved her off and stepped inside. Take care, I said, shutting the door. She let out a furious shriek, but eventually I heard her stumble off down the street. My heart was hammering, a messy mix of guilt and relief slugging it out inside me. I'd turned away a pregnant, sick woman I used to love. But she'd also crushed me, pushed for an open marriage, and tried to bleed me dry. My compassion had a hard limit. Then, 2 weeks later, a summons landed in my mailbox. Sophia was demanding a paternity test, claiming I was the father and gunning for child support. My lawyer chuckled when I showed him my vasectomy papers. She's clutching at straws, man, he said. Flash the court those medical records, and it's game over. So we went through with it. I took the paternity test anyway, just to shut it down, and we handed over my vasectomy proof to the court. Sophia's whole story fell apart like a house of cards. The judge chewed her out for dragging everyone through this nonsense, and she stood there, shaking, looking like the world had caved in as they read the results. Margaret, parked behind her, shot me a look that could have melted steel. Outside, Sophia cornered me, eyes wet and voice dripping with venom. You've been dying to stick it to me, huh? Well, congrats, you got what you wanted. I shrugged it off. Nah, you did this to yourself. Margaret spat at me, practically growling. Hope you never sleep easy again. You ruined her life. I locked eyes with her, not budging. She's the one who torched ours first. Don't try pinning her wild choices on me. Sophia staggered back a step, clutching her belly. Can't believe you'd go this far, she said. I used to love you, James. I shook my head slow. And I loved you too, Sophia. Right up, till you stood up at our anniversary and told everybody you wanted other guys. Her eyes shimmered with tears. You never even asked me why. You didn't give a damn. I gave plenty, I said, the words bitter as hell. But I'm over it now. Time to move on. Her mouth opened like she had more to say, then snapped shut as tears streaked down her face. With one last gut-wrenching sob, she spun away. Margaret darted over to prop her up, throwing me a final poisonous glare. I walked off, every step feeling like I was dragging a weight, but also like I was breaking free. We were done, really, truly done. No more pretending otherwise. If I was the bad guy in her story, fine, I'd live with it. She had a kid growing inside her, some mystery man's baby, an STD to wrestle with, and no cash coming from me. Knowing I was out of her mess for good. That hit like a breath of fresh air. Emma called me that night, her voice wobbly. Dad, I heard about the test. Mom's losing it, hysterical. Grandma's damning you to hell and back. You holding up okay? I let out a long breath. I'm good, Emma. It's finished. I'm not the dad, nothing left to argue about. She swallowed hard. Yeah, guess that's it, huh? I eased up a bit. I'm sorry it all went down like this. I know she's still your mom. She sniffled into the phone. She is, but I can't stick up for her anymore. She fed me lies, tried to paint you as the monster. I'm mad at her, Dad, she admitted. I shut my eyes for a sec. You don't gotta choose between us. She's still your mom. Emma let out a shaky sigh. I know that, but I can't back how she's been acting. She's lost it all now. I'm scared she'll wind up totally alone. I didn't have any warm fuzzies to offer. She's gotta sort that out herself, I said. Maybe she'll figure something from it. Emma mumbled a quiet goodbye, and we left it there. A few weeks later, word trickled back through some old mutual friends. Sophia had packed up and left town, probably chasing a clean slate somewhere else. She had the baby in a hospital way off the map. Kid made it, though I heard whispers her STD threw some wrenches in the works. She wouldn't name the father, and Margaret tagged along after her eventually. Never laid eyes on either of them again, and I didn't go digging to find out more.